Hello.
What up?
Welcome to the Willow Hour.
Welcome in.
You're here.
We're here.
I'm so glad that we're all here.
We're all here together.
It's another episode.
It's really another episode, though.
It's a whole nother episode.
It's a whole ass episode coming at you right now, right here. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I feel like I'm feeling a lot of things.
So many feelings.
About this episode. I feel a little bit better. Prepared slightly than last week's, but still the spook factor is...
The spook is at an all-time high.
Yeah.
It's still where it was at last week.
Yeah. So I will say that we've done better. We have not, we didn't use as much time before we clicked, start as we did last time. So I'm going to pat us on the back for that one.
Yeah, thank you. We should be proud of us. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So you guys already know, Hope.
Zena.
Yeah. And we used to be Christians.
Now we're not.
Nope. We've been talking about it for some time.
Yep.
It's not all that we talk about.
Nope.
But so far, it's what we've been talking about.
It's the big topic of the time.
So in order to understand this one, go to the others.
Yes.
What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about purity culture. We are continuing this section of the season about how we were harmed. Last time we talked about hell, so you definitely want to catch that.
Yeah.
But this one is about purity culture. We don't know what is even about to occur in this conversation. So I would say this is definitely one of our most, not unprepared, because like you said, we're prepared, but it's just like, it's blank.
Yeah.
It's totally blank. We don't know how everything else has been a lot more, this is how long we're going to spend on this aspect. Yep. And now we're just like, all right, we're going to just go into the deep end and hope that it turns out okay.
Yes.
Sink or swim.
Right. We're calling on Susan and...
Yes, Susie.
Susie has definitely... She's been here. They've been here. And so we're just calling.
Giving us what we need.
So, join us. You can do a call, wherever you are.
And you know what? I just want to say, just in case you didn't know this, none of us here are theologians.
Oh, yeah.
We're not theologians. We didn't go to seminary. We're not out here trying to pick apart all the theology and doctrine.
No.
And getting into the nitty gritty of the scriptures and the text. Mm-hmm. That's not really what's happening here. No. We are talking about our experience, our lives, our response to what we grew up in, what we were indoctrinated in. Okay? So if you feel the need to pray for us, if you feel the need to give scriptures, pray for other people in the comments, or do whatever you got to do, or if you feel like you need to do, certainly this is not the place. And maybe just see yourself out now, or, take the time to just listen and be here. And that's what we ask is don't do that.
Yes. And with that being said, I really do hope that, especially people who just still identify as Christians, like that you'll just stick around to hear if it's, appropriate for you to stick around, that you just hear us out, because I feel that this is something that all of us who at some point in our life, adopted this belief system, this harm has touched us all. And so that is really why we're talking about it. We're going to do the best that we can, because it is just, it's real life.
Yeah.
I feel like we use like a little bit of snark and satire just to get through it, because this was like real shit that we actually lived through and real shit that we're still recovering from.
Yes.
So yeah, it's going to be another difficult one to get through. A little messy.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, it's not exhaustive. We are not going to be able to hit everything. It's just impossible. And so many things that we're going to say, we might not be able to say everything about those things as well. So we're just doing the best that we can. And we aren't ignoring anything. Like if you feel like some aspect of purity culture was really harmful to you and we're not talking about it, don't think that, we don't care about it or that we're ignoring it. We're just doing the best that we can with the time that we have today without also keeping y'all here longer than we want to keep you guys here.
Because you could be here for a long time on that.
And just take care of yourself as you approach this. We're going to be talking about a lot of difficult things, and we're going to be talking about sex trauma, abuse, things of that nature. And so, where you're at personally, and just make sure that this is the content that you can take in at this time.
Yeah.
If it's not, we totally understand, and we want you to do what's best for you. It'll also be here, you know, if it another time,
catch us on another one.
We'll still be here. So, yeah.
And we're here on Insta as well. Check us out and reach out to us if you ever want to chat and talk.
Because
if you want to see more of us too.
Yeah, for sure. We give a little show over there. So
yeah,
stay up to date with us.
For sure.
Yeah. So think I'm good with that. Wow.
Yeet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we're really going for it. Thank you. Actually,
I would like you to.
You would like me?
Yes, please.
To do some opening digs?
Yes, please.
Because you know what? Grab whatever you can and dig with me. Okay. Wow. I really feel I'm just taking a moment.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
You can do it.
I know. Wow.
You got this.
Because okay, yeah.
Oh, I actually wanted to say, just right before you start, you did already touch on it, but I just wanted to say, like, this is our real life. Like, this purity culture and all the things that we grew up in as evangelical Christians, it was extremely traumatic. And, you know, we use satire, we use humor, but this is real for us. And this is, like, stuff that it's hard to believe that it's reality, that things that we have actually thought, lived through, experienced firsthand. And it's so hard when you put it to paper and we're looking at it like, this is not something that someone told me to say. Like, this is my memory, my education. This is my real life. And it's hard to come to terms with that at certain points. And it's hard to talk about it. And so that's why we use humor. And I don't know, I just wanted to bring that in to just say that, because I feel like sometimes I forget, like, in the heat of it all, that, like, I don't forget, but I don't know. It's just sometimes I try to come out of the depth, the weight of that reality a little bit. But I just wanted to point that out, that, like, it's sometimes hard to believe. And like you said, we are still recovering from it, even though we are out of it.
Right. For sure.
So.
Yeah, it's just a lot. Honestly, every time I look down at the paper, I'm like, am I really ready to do this? We are, but it takes a minute. It takes a minute to
certainly
get into it. So I would just say, like, the first thing that you learn is don't have sex.
Yeah.
Before you even know what sex is, you know not to have it. Don't have sex. Don't even think about having sex. Don't talk about sex. Certainly don't ask any questions about sex. And then they hammer this into your brain, but also tell you that you shouldn't even be thinking about it. It doesn't exist.
Right.
So they go so hard as to tell you that this is something that you should never even, don't even discuss it. Don't think about it. It's not there. But they tell you it's so much, but then also then you have to pretend that it's not even real.
Right.
I feel like you get past the basic, like, salvation, heaven and hell stuff, and then you dive right into the Christian sexual ethic in elementary school. Before you learn anything, before you know anything, you know, okay, Jesus saved you from hell, so you owe him everything, and purity is of the utmost importance and cannot be reversed once lost, so don't have sex. It's like the first and most important thing you learn as far as, like, Christian living goes. It's really, I don't know, even when I say it all, I'm just like, damn, there is just so much emphasis on sex, and you have no concept of what sex is, of who you are as a person in this freaking world. But you know not to have sex. Where do you find your worth? What is most important to preserve? Your purity. What can never be gotten back once it's lost? Your virginity. Burned into your head before literally anything else. And it's just so crazy because I can't even remember, like, huge moments of conversation where, like, someone sat me down and told me all of these things. But this was very clear. Very clear. I feel like at, like, 6 years old, I had a very, very clear understanding that this was unspeakable. We don't talk about it. And I got a lot of rhetoric from the church, but in my house, not a single There was not a single mention of sex. Not even to not have it. Sex didn't exist. And I feel like that silence spoke louder than anything else. But I was already having like sexual experiences in elementary school. I was already a child having these experiences, but I was also a child knowing that never was I ever going to say anything about this. Never. There was nowhere to go, no one to turn to. I was never going to speak a word of it. It was literally burned into my head. Like, I just feel that I can't even do justice the amount of things I internalized around this. While I was like, I haven't even learned multiplication yet, but I know this. And I know all this shit that I'm experiencing, what I'm feeling in my body, when I'm experiencing, I don't know, with other people. I can't say anything about it. I feel like when I was putting all of this together, I was just having a hard time saying anything because this topic is so large and every single thing I could say could go on forever and ever. Like, how do you even choose anything to focus on when there's just so much to say? But purity culture is harm. The Christian sexual ethic is harm. I'm really not trying to offend anybody, but it's really sick. I feel like the obsession with Christianity, the obsession with sex and Christianity is really scary.
Yeah.
I feel like people should be asking themselves, like, why is God so concerned with who you're having sex with? Like, why do we not
why is sex so f***ing important?
Yes.
The one thing in all of life.
All of life.
Everything. Sex.
Why is it so important? And why should me as a child be so worried about my body being perceived as sexual? Not even actually, it's not being perceived as sexual. It is sexual. And so therefore I must cover up. I must be thinking about how my body is going to cause someone to slip. My body that I'm just like eating like my school lunch to like fuel. Now I have to be thinking about how like that body is going to cause somebody else to slip. Also, a grown man to slip. Not even like my fellow like sixth graders. Like, but it's on me. I added this little note because I don't know, it was something that was big for me. Dads taking their daughters on dates and presenting them with a purity ring. And it was like a whole thing.
I know.
Where they presented them with the ring and the daughter was to vow to purity. Like, I don't
know.
Vow. Like it was a ring. Like
no.
Like, imagine. Just like, I just feel like, take yourself there for a second. Like, my kid ass going to dinner with my dad, promising him that I won't have sex until I'm married. Like,
what kind of ritual is that?
Yes.
Strange. Hellish. Just so strange. Very, very scary and strange.
Like, it was going to be a moment. Like, I just remember other people having this moment. And, like, people just wearing their purity rings. I feel like in this moment, I feel lucky because I didn't have a dad. But back then, I did want someone to take me out and present me with the ring. Yeah. I did want to be a part of that. I saw other people getting this ring, and I wanted one as well.
Yeah. When you said school lunch, that was hard to hear. It was hard to hear school lunch. Because I just feel like it's a picture of what you're like, of just illustrating that how young you are when you're experiencing trying to prevent your body from being sexualized by people who shouldn't be sexualizing it in the first place. You have no idea what the real dynamic is. And you think it's about you.
Yep. I was just already so scarred at that point. I mean, I talked about it a little bit in our last episode, but I already felt tainted. I already felt disgusting. I already felt far. And I didn't even know anything.
Yeah. I would... That's a lot, and there's no way to step into this in a light way.
No.
It's very intense, and it starts very early. I would say, like, for me, like, same. There's no beginning point of being told this stuff. It's like, it's from the very beginning. Like you said, it's like heaven and hell, Jesus, Holy Spirit, God, sex, don't do it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of the basic tenets of Christianity, is it not?
It was like, just like that, actually.
The first thing you know is just like, don't have sex. Sex is for married people. It's like there's a line. And let's not forget that married people is between a man and a woman. A man and a woman. You know, the way that I understood it as a kid, it was just basically to achieve purity, which purity is a very important thing.
Yes.
Especially as a girl, which not even get into the misogyny and patriarchy and sickness of that. But to achieve purity is sexual desire is synonymous with lust.
Yes.
And lust is a sin.
Yeah. Oh.
So have no sexual desires, have no sexual contact with another person. Attraction, I mean, in some ways, at some points, not in the beginning actually, but attraction is natural, which you might, as I said, you might get to that at some point. But like, at the end of the day, the Bible says, like, if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off. So at the end of the day, even if attraction is natural, if it causes you to sin, like, cut it off.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, even if it's natural, it should be controllable.
100%.
Completely controllable. If you feel like it's out of control, cut it out of your life.
Yes.
Don't interact with anything that might induce sexual desire. Not a book, not a movie, not people around you, nothing. Do not interact with anything that might induce you to start to feel feelings for something.
Yes.
And you feel something, you need to immediately root that out of your life.
Uproot that shit.
Immediately. This is from childhood, by the way.
Yes.
This is before I've ever even reached a consciousness of, like, what is sex? Even the word sexual ethic have not even come into my consciousness. I have no sense of that. But I already know all the ways to avoid sexual desire and sex, which before I even understand what even is the fullness of sex either. Don't ever touch yourself. Like, so don't have contact with anybody else, but certainly don't have any contact with yourself. Do not explore, think about, talk about anything with yourself. Don't touch.
I feel like that one, I don't even know if you have more to say on that one, but I feel like that one is almost farther than contact with another person. Contact with yourself.
You know what's funny? We talked about this. I felt like it was the opposite. You said contact with yourself you felt was farther than another person.
Yes.
I felt like contact with another person was farther than with yourself.
No, because I feel like how many times would I see people be like the poster, person for going too far sexually, and it would always be about what they did with another person. Never, not never.
Yeah.
Was anybody going to talk about what they did with them?
Silence and shame.
There was never a talk about that. And if it was also a man only.
Oh, I'm going to get into that.
Yeah, so, sorry, I didn't even want to go there, but I was just like...
that's so, yeah. No, it makes sense, because if you're not talking about it at all, you get the idea that it's worse.
Yeah.
No one even discusses it being an issue, so therefore it must be an issue that nobody should be having, right? But yeah, don't do it. Don't let any sexual thought linger. Have full control over any temptations and sensations. So the Bible says that if you even look at someone with a lustful thought, you have committed adultery, which is what you brought up in our conversations about this topic. Not bad. Adultery.
Yes. No. Yeah. It's not just like, probably shouldn't
a marital affair.
No.
Adultery. If you even look at it, first of all, let's just also talk about that the scripture says if you look at a woman with lust, you've committed adultery. Yeah. Not if you look at a man or if you look at a person. If you look at a woman with lust. So we all know who they're talking to. This is very scary stuff. Who this conversation is geared toward tells you all about who is the predator. Right? Sexual feelings should be completely avoided, and also confess any failings and make sure there is someone keeping you accountable.
Yeah.
So like if I'm having struggles with this,
an accountability partner,
I need to talk to my friend and be like, I need to be open and honest with my friend about what I'm going through and what I'm struggling with. Ideally, by the time you're married, you will have never seen another person's parts and you have never touched your own. Maybe you would know what the mechanisms are of the experience, but that's about it. You might know them scientifically, but ideally, you would be a blank slate, yes. Pure. And then once you're married, you better have sex often and please your partner, aka your man.
What a jump.
And do it to serve each other, and like that's what you once you're married, like you
don't deprive one another.
Don't deprive one another. You need to indulge the other person with your body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So from a young age, like you said, I got the idea. I know, right? Like I don't even know how to move on from that, but I want to talk about what you said too, which is just like that my body is to be hidden. Like, because this is so important. This is like one of the most important things. And like, how dare I bring someone into this temptation, into this sensation, into them having to work hard to control themselves. Yeah. So, and I developed a chest very early. Like I was in 3rd grade and I was younger than everybody in 3rd grade. Remember, I was basically a year younger than everybody. So I'm essentially 7, 8 years old. And I got my first bra in 4th grade, 8 years old. And while it was like a nice moment for me because I was developing, like it was a momentous occasion, but at the same time, it started me concerning myself with my body very early. And, growing up, my dad always told me like, oh, cover up your cleavage or like make me change my clothes. And at the pool party, the church pool party at like one of the kids who had a pool, I had to wear a t-shirt over my bathing suit. I was not allowed to wear anything but a one piece. And my whole life I wore like shorts over it or like a t-shirt over it. And it was my responsibility to make sure that like my body was not going to be too sexy. Okay. Anyway.
As a child?
As if I'm not already having those experiences. All right. As if me and my peers are not already like seeing each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? T-shirt or not, am I not liking somebody already? Am I not having these feelings? Did I not already have my first kiss at 10 years old? Like, and in a way, it makes you want to test the boundary, because now it's like, oh, this like shrouded in mystery thing that we're not supposed to be doing.
Oh, absolutely.
What is it all about? I need to find out about it. My parents are not telling me. No one is telling me.
It's just so counter. Like it goes completely against the goal. When you make and you put so much emphasis on something, you only make it that much more attractive. Mm-hmm. You only make me that much more curious about it and wanting to figure it out. You only make it that much more enticing. Because you've made it so much more than it even is.
Mm-hmm. It could have been a natural progression, but now I'm focused on it.
And I also know that I shouldn't even be thinking about it. So therefore, there's nobody I can even talk to about it.
And once I've thought about it, though,
I've already gone too far.
So
yeah, if I'm sitting at all, at any point in my life, if I'm just sitting in school, at home, wherever, thinking about this, I have gone far. Mm-hmm. I'm in lust. Yep. In lust. Actually, that's the thing. Curiosity is the equivalent to lust. Any thought that I have about any question, like literally just like basic, biological, like trying to wrap my head around this far.
Yeah. I just want to say, like, I feel like, I'm thinking about all the things that we're talking about, and if you're not Christian, this might sound extremely dramatic to you. And if you are a Christian, you might be like, they're blowing it out of proportion and it's not that. But it is, though, because do we not all focus on sex all the time? Do we not all focus on how we can keep our nearest and dearest friend safe from purity issues and accountability? I'm going to get into that in a little bit, so I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I just want to say that, like, this is not an over-exaggeration. No. Like, this is childhood being told from the youngest of ages how much sex is so important not to do. I was in 8th grade telling my friends, like, I'm going to be a virgin till marriage.
Yes.
Like, it was very important to me. Why, though? Why?
Right. It was almost it was the next most important thing. That's why I'm just like, it's salvation, heaven,
I wasn't
hell.
even concerned with salvation though.
Yeah, no, like that stuff was past. But then all I knew, like the only promise I actually made to myself was that I was going to wait. Like if there was something that was going to be of like what I put before everything else, it was waiting until marriage. Mm-hmm. If there was something that I was going to tell someone, if there was something that I was going to hold honestly, and also with pride, feeling better, superior than other people too, was the fact that I was still holding on to this thing. Mm-hmm. No, I don't. I feel like for those who might also feel like, oh, it wasn't that bad, or it didn't go that far, or what, you guys are just making it to be more than it is. I feel that like also I didn't realize that it was this deep when I was going through it.
No.
I didn't realize that I was being traumatized when I was being traumatized.
No.
And so I didn't think, I wouldn't have said that. I don't know. It was that serious then. But it really, no exaggeration. This is actually light. Mm-hmm. This is actually light.
Yeah, we have so much more to say. We've started light.
Yeah.
Let's go now.
I know, it feels like we really dove in.
Which we have.
We have.
But at the same time, this is just scratching the surface. Yes. And it sounds dramatic already.
Yeah. So yeah. Abstinent only sex education was all I got. And like I said before, I was already having sexual experiences in elementary school. And I bring this up again because, like, did I know what I was doing? Did I know what was going on? No. Did I consent to a lot of things? I mean, as much as I could as a child. And even though a lot of these experiences were with other kids my age, I didn't know what was going on. How does one say yes to something that they cannot even conceptualize? Proper sex education could have saved me from a lot of unpleasant experiences and unknowingly unwanted experiences. Like, I didn't even know what was going on, so I didn't even know what I was signing up, what I was saying yes to, and if I really wanted it. I was curious, but did I actually want to participate in this? I was curious, but did I really need to, satiate my curiosity in this way? But no education means I cannot make an appropriate choice. Mm-hmm. It's just goofy because what are we protecting people? Are we saving children by saying no sex, don't have sex, don't have sex, don't tell them anything at all? No, you're actually setting them up. You're setting them up to be in a lot of really, really unfortunate situations, and then also setting them up to have nobody to go to. Yep. And I feel like that's so heavy and there's just so much I could say there, but I just want to say that because the lack of education only hurts people. That's why there's so many reasons why this shit is so traumatic, but just that alone.
Yep.
I don't have to have this crazy ass thing that happened to me for it to be fucking traumatic. Mm-hmm. And for me to know that as I'm going through these things and then participating in something, reflecting on something, and then knowing I have literally no one, and believing that it's my job to carry this stuff also, what, to my grave?
Yeah.
I already felt so low. Like, I can't, what made me feel lowest in life? Anything sex related. If I viewed myself literally in the pit, if I was digging myself into the ground, it had to do with sex. Anything sex related.
Yeah, I'm going to get into some thoughts later about how the lack of education and conversation is absolutely harmful. So,
and your best bet at attaining this ridiculous, impossible, harmful, not real, goofy standard is to completely forget that you have a body. Just like you literally don't have one. Don't acknowledge it. It doesn't exist. As Zena said to me earlier when we were preparing for this, the only body parts that exist and are worthy of acknowledgement are your arms, your legs, in your head. And by special circumstance, you might be able to acknowledge your torso, you know, when you're thinking about things like your lungs, liver, kidneys, but only then. Only recognize the limbs and then just keep going. You were taught to completely disconnect from your body. Mm-hmm. It's actually the only way to live this holy life that we are called to live. Your body is evil. Like the body, like this.
Yes.
This thing right here, this thing that we are touching,
flesh,
is evil. Mm-hmm. It's referred to as the flesh. Mm-hmm. And the flesh is evil. I typed it into a quick Google search. I searched literally sinful flesh scriptures. That's all I searched. And the first result was 9 Bible verses about the flesh as the sinful nature. So here I am. I didn't ask to be born. But then I am here on this earth. And I have a body. I didn't choose the body, but I have the body. And the body is the flesh. And the flesh is my sinful nature. And my sinful nature is what makes me inherently bad and evil. It's the reason that us humans can never be good, do anything good, think anything good, without giving our lives over to Jesus. But then still, the body is always bad. Even after salvation, the flesh is still sinful. That's why you're saved, but you're not perfect, because we still exist in a body. And the body is inherently sinful. And it's what makes us sin. But then the body is also only sinful because, I don't know if you guys know the story. Where can I find it here? Adam ate an apple. Adam and Eve. And then therefore, the flesh was sinful. I really am not like quite seeing how... I feel like I had to bring it here for everybody.
Apple.
A fruit.
I just have to say this because I had this in my notes, is that Eve ate the apple, so she's actually the one responsible though. Yes. She was the one who convinced Adam. Kiki, haha. My narrative that I was given was like, haha, Kiki, women.
Yep.
They're the problem. Because Eve was the one who decided to go and eat the apple.
True.
So let's get into the freaking apple. That's how I perceived the apple, was Eve.
Yeah.
LOL, women.
So, yeah, I'll just leave this apple here for reference so that everybody can see what doomed all of mankind. Yeah, so this body that I didn't choose, now I have it, and it's the thing that's causing me to sin. So damn you, body. Fuck you. You fucking suck. So yeah, you're inevitably disembodied. You're not to perceive your own body as existing. And on the most basic level, and at the earliest point in your life, though, you are completely disconnected to your body in every way. No one is acknowledging that you have a body, and the only time they're acknowledging that you have one is to tell you to cover it up, don't cause another person to slip, and don't think about your body participating in anything, so don't think about it. It doesn't exist. And if you can't recognize a body as a body, then you sure as hell are never going to even be able to perceive yourself as the sexual being that you are. And it's not like, I feel like this whole thing, like my entire life, it was like up for debate on like whether a body was like, whether we were sexual beings, like as if it's just not like basic scientific fact. Mm-hmm. But it was like, no, like that's what these people will say because they're just like confused and misled and misguided. Like the amount of just like misinformation and like lack of basic like belief in things that are not like up for debate, you know what I mean? Like these are just not like,
yeah, do
you believe this or I believe that? We're just like, is like 1 + 1 2?
Is that not Christianity, my friends?
Yeah.
I was gonna say that too, actually, what you said about like I mentioned the only things that exist are your arms, your legs, and your head. Yet at the same time, you're hyper aware of your body.
Yes.
You know, you're supposed to like pretend that your organs that are, you know, could be used in any sexual activity, which every part can be, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But you know, focus specifically the these parts and anything over here. Let's try to pretend they don't exist, but also like keep your focus on them being absolutely unseen and unsexualized at all times. Hyper aware of your body, but also supposed to be ignoring your body. What kind of dissonance and confusion is that?
Yeah.
But your body is evil, the flesh. You're supposed to live up here in your head.
Yep.
The spiritual head, the spiritual, everything is just right here. Stay right here, which even that is evil. So what even is that?
Good luck.
Yeah.
I guess just call on the spirit that lives within you.
Honestly.
The same spirit that rose Christ Jesus from the dead is the spirit that's alive in you. And that is the only thing that you should be tapping into at any time.
Oh, yeah. The spirit versus the flesh. That's the fight.
Mm-hmm.
The spirit is in constant battle with the flesh. Sorry. I'd be struggling sometimes to even just, when you're talking, I'm just like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing this narrative. I'm tired of the bullshit. Like, it makes me tired.
Yes.
I hear it and I'm just
exhausting.
like, I want to, I'm okay. Yeah, right. I get it. I've heard it. Thank you.
And this is the stuff that you don't, if you do at all recognize, you're like, this doesn't make sense. But you're trained also to not think like that. It's like sinful to think about how it doesn't make sense because God's ways are higher. Mm-hmm. Like you are unable to really understand certain things. So the things that are confusing are because of your stupid, feeble human brain.
And also because your heart is deceitful.
Above all else, actually.
Above all else, your heart is deceitful.
And
one thing my dad likes to point out, Satan is the father of lies.
Yes.
So your body will lie to you.
Satan is the author of confusion.
The author of confusion. He is the father of lies, which was just the phrase that I always got. The father of lies. So like your body will lie to you. Your heart will lie to you. So if you have feelings for somebody, like that's probably a lie. If they're not a Christian, like you should really, it's your flesh is being tempted. And the author of confusion, the father of lies, is trying to deceive you into doing something impure or into thinking or being involved in something impure. Lies, though.
At all times, you're not supposed to perceive that you have a body.
Don't trust it.
Also be afraid.
Yes.
Of your own body.
Of your own body. Be afraid. Don't trust it, actually. You feel a feeling, you become disconnected from any feeling in your body that is occurring.
Mm-hmm. So because you cannot trust your body.
So you become unaware of it.
Mm-hmm. And I bring up like, okay, so you can't even perceive yourself as the sexual being that you are. Mm-hmm. Scientifically. I know like Christians and science, it's not, there's a lot of back and forth there. But I bring that point because if you can't even perceive yourself in your like most rawest form, then you are completely like divorced from your perception of yourself. Mm-hmm. Mm. And you're completely out of touch with your own body in every way. And when you are out of touch with your body, you are also out of touch with your personhood. And I was thinking about this as I was writing. I was just like, it's just like, it's so crazy because like, you're just so out of touch with yourself. And it's like, you don't even realize it. But I'm like, no. It strips you on purpose. It strips you of your humanity. Because your humanity is sinful. This is not an accident.
No.
That disembodiment is utterly dehumanizing. It's working.
Yes. That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. It's working.
It's to get you to detach from this corporeal form.
Because your humanity is sinful. Your humanity is evil. And your humanity is what separates you from God's perfection. Mm-hmm. So disembodiment is the holy way. Mm-hmm. That is the path. That is the path to I don't know what, but separate yourself. Don't perceive your body. And if your body is telling you anything at all, cut it off. Scoop it out. Rebuke it. So, yeah, dehumanize you so you can become perfect and holy and spotless. The spiritual mind, like we were saying before, is the only thing that matters. Mm-hmm. And if you can master, like we're citizens of heaven.
Oh, gosh.
So not citizens of earth.
Oh, gosh.
And because citizens of heaven, then mind, spirit, is the only thing, because I have to remember at all times I'm only a citizen of heaven. I'm here on earth in a body, but I am a citizen of heaven.
I always really stuck to the already but not yet. You know?
Yes, you did.
Already but not yet. It hurts. It hurts. It really hurts.
And then on top of that, you've learned all of these things, and they've also made it extremely clear that any effort to connect with your body, you know, like meditation or just movement of your body.
No.
That is darkness.
No, don't even say the word meditation. Don't even say anything that is not strictly in the discourse of your particular church or your particular Christian community. Don't even start saying words like meditate.
Nope.
What's the I can't even think of another word, but so many taboos.
Yes.
Connecting with your body. Yoga?
Yoga. No.
Which, understandably, yoga is not something it's not a fun time you just step into because it's all fun and games and exercise. There's a lot more to yoga. But the question of whether even yoga is a thing in a Christian context is like, I was shook when I found out that people were really just like having all these qualms with yoga.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because any idea that because the only spirit that you can tap into is like the spirit of God.
Yes, a very specific spirit.
And the Bible hasn't said that you can meditate on the word of God.
Yes,
that's the only type of meditation that is permissible.
That's the only context whether you should even say the word meditate.
Right, exactly. And even then, you really need to know what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you don't for a second learn about any type of meditation outside of someone who really, who knows the word and really knows what's happening. It's literally like you are looked at like you're just so far. If you at all talk about like how something made your body feel a specific way, or how this experience for you is just incredibly healing, if it wasn't.
You can't say healing if it doesn't have to do with Jesus Christ. Yep. You can't.
You cannot. Nothing else actually can heal you.
Even if you had surgery, God healed you.
Yes. Yeah, because God was at the hand, like the physician's hands were the hands of God. God did the work on you.
I'm tired again.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
So so then sometimes you're like, okay, like you can get the help, but like don't forget who the help comes from.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Where does my help come from? Oh my gosh.
Not to mention, I feel like there's just also the levels of like acceptance of certain things also varies greatly between churches.
There's no common anything. What is even real?
I'm like, how do we even talk about anything at this point? I feel beside myself. I don't know what the phrase is.
Yeah, beside myself.
Because I'm just like, what have we said? But also, what have we said? I just keep coming back to how, honestly, like, bizarre and far it sounds when you put it all together like this.
Yes.
It surely does not.
It sounds like, how could you let this happen to you?
Yeah.
Where were you in all this?
Yeah, how could you believe such far...
How were you swindled? Like, what was the swindling that occurred to get you to this place? It makes no sense. None of it.
But this was deeply, deeply, deeply internalized.
My heart and soul. Which, if you could even say that, actually.
Yeah, because that's...
You can't say that.
Yeah.
What is a soul? What is a heart? Spirit? The fuck? Yeah, I just like... I don't know. The thing about the body just always gets me because when your heart lies and your flesh is sinful, can you trust anything you think? Can you trust anything you like? Can you trust anything in the world that you have a connection to? Is any connection valid if it's not being confirmed by God? I like this book. Am I allowed to like this book?
No, if anything, if I like it too much, that's probably an indication that it's not good. Mm-hmm. If I feel it in my body. You
can't like anything. You can't enjoy anything without, what's the word? Permission from God. Because your body is not to be trusted. Your thoughts are not to be trusted. You're supposed to take your thoughts captive. Take them captive?
Captive. And then so the verse is take every thought captive and then bring it under the submission of God.
Yep. So can you like someone? Can you find them interesting? Can you want to hang out with them?
No, because it all has to be from the Spirit. You have had to hear.
Yeah, you're supposed to find your partner attractive, though. When do I start finding them attractive?
So do I get the Yeah, because honestly, though, if I didn't get the confirmation from God first, but I found them attractive first, then my attraction to them is not holy and righteous. It's actually lustful. I was supposed to wait for the Lord to open it up, and then for him to give me the right amount of attraction, so that it would only be enough that I could pursue him, but just right there, so that it doesn't turn into lust.
Also, let's talk about how the fact that I just said partner and we're saying partner. You can't use that word. What is a partner?
No.
Husband, wife.
Yes. One woman. One man.
Speaking on the topic of gender, I just want to quickly say,
oh my God,
purity culture is synonymous with our word culture.
Yes.
The idea, what we're talking about Eve is the one who ate the apple. Misogyny. You need to cover your body so the men don't get to you. Mm-hmm. Women need to cover their bodies so the men don't get to them. Men are visual creatures.
Yeah.
This thing that you're taught from a very, very young age is that men are visual creatures. It's hard for them to control their sexuality. These things are not even being said explicitly also. The men are visual creatures part is being said explicitly.
But it's not hard for them. It's impossible for them to control themselves. And it's literally entirely on us.
Yes.
Because how can we fault them if we didn't hold up our end of it?
I know,
now, if they have their own issues, then they get to
that's on them.
They get to a men's group, get accountability.
How does that even make any sense?
But we must.
Yes.
Because they have no control.
By extension, though, I as a woman should be able to do all the controlling of the sexuality in the situation.
Yes.
What? So they can't control themselves. So as me, I need to be the one to control to control everything. Mm-hmm. By the way that I dress, by the clothes that I wear, which as if it's even universally agreed upon what even counts,
right,
as anything.
And then I want to add to this, because I don't even know if you're gonna say it. Probably because you have a good noggin up there. But how much is added to this if you, especially, are a person of color, of the global majority.
Yes.
Because we all can just
the body
understand.
You can't wear nothing.
That the body pops in places for the majority of us that it doesn't pop for the others.
Yeah. Therefore, same clothes cannot be worn by two different people.
No.
Not at all. Well, how do you even cover things? You can't. But I need to protect my brothers from stumbling, my outfit could lead them into something. What? I don't know. But I should be afraid of doing such things for them, but also in the presence of God. I had the responsibility for men's actions. And my clothing then represented my dignity in a sense, because pursuing purity is a dignified thing to do. So therefore, if you're not dressing in the way that would promote purity, then you're not really respectable. You're not really your virginity and your pursuit of purity is your dignity. More than a man's, though, because let's not forget who's the one wearing the white dress.
Right.
On the wedding day.
No, who even cares about a man? Who even cares what they're doing?
No.
It only matters about it. It's only about them when it's about us causing them to slip.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, when I had any experiences, it made me less desirable. But at the end of the day, because men are visual creatures and they can't control themselves, if he has any past or impurities, at the end of the day, it's just like, you know, can you really just blame him? You know, it just be like that.
Exactly.
But for me, it's just like, oh, you got experiences? Like, what kind of experience are we talking here? Like, can I forgive all these? Can I forgive all these? Like, what do we, you know, I want to get into that too, but I kind of jumped ahead of myself a little bit. But the synonymity, wow, is that a word? The synonymity, aka the synonymousness with our word culture is equal.
Yeah, there's actually no separation.
Yeah. And it's a really scary thing because it's so insidious and it's something that you're not aware of as a kid that's happening. And the people teaching it to you, you're trusting them. They're your parents, they're your elders, your mentors. Sorry, that really hit me different. It scares. It's really scary.
I feel like, you know, because we don't have, you know, the perspective of, you know, a young man who grew up in this, you don't get to see how much this also affects them because it grooms them to be predators. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that they're not responsible, but when you are hearing these things that you cannot control yourself, you act as if you cannot control yourself.
It teaches you that you don't have to. You don't have to.
It's just the way that you were made.
And of course it's going to teach you to devalue women.
How does it not?
Of course it will. The misogyny is from the beginning.
From the very beginning.
It's from the beginning. We should probably end it there, honestly, because there's a lot more to say. Actually, you know, I want to get into some of my personal experiences with this stuff and how it affected me personally growing up. And yeah, there's just so much to say. And what have we even said?
Yeah. I find myself like speechless so many times.
Agreed.
Throughout this whole thing, because I just, what do you even say? What have we said? We have worked so hard on talking about this. As you guys heard just in the, you know, our first episode on how we were harmed, like we really tried to rework this as best as we could for it to be as clear as it could be, do any type of justice to this subject at all, but also not go on too long about anything.
Right.
But in it, as I just reflect on what we just recorded, I'm like, I feel my brain breaking.
Because everything is actually connected to everything else. There's so, like, unless you're really gonna talk in snippets, kind of, it's hard to coalesce everything because everything touches everything. So how can you really bring it in a structured manner? I mean, you know, maybe someone could, maybe with some extensive amounts of time in a book to write about it. But like, you know, are we writing a book? No. We want to have a conversation, and it's the best that you can do in a conversation is to just talk.
Yeah.
And do your best to just express yourself. And I feel like that's what we've done, as hard as it is. And with everything, with all the more that we have to say, I hope that this has given you some insight and understanding as to what our experience was like. Let us know if anything is resonating, kind of what has purity culture meant to you. As always, our inbox for Instagram is open if you don't want to do the whole public comment thing.
Of course.
But we welcome your feedback and your experiences anywhere, because we know that, not especially, because everything in growing up Christian, especially once you start to see how harmful it is harmful and takes a long time to untangle. And so, you know, we definitely understand that, and we want to hold space. I feel like one thing I wanted to say as well, sorry, I'm getting a little long-winded here, but I really wanted to say there's a lot of anger that comes out in this, that has come out, that I was noticing. And I was just feeling this like welling up of emotion, and like not yelling, but just like, you know what I'm saying? Like a very passionate conversation, because this stuff, it makes me really angry to think that this is what we're teaching children. It makes me really angry to think about my story and how this has affected me. And it makes me angry that this is still being taught to kids today.
Yes.
And it makes me sad. It hurts to think about my own life and to feel very powerless to stop this harm from happening on such a grand ass scale, because we all know that this shit is everywhere, at the very least in this country, but this shit has traveled the world.
Yes.
And that's their goal. So yeah, we're gonna get angry. Yeah, we're gonna shout, we're gonna get passionate, and that's what it's gonna be. So yeah, share with us your thoughts. Or I don't even know what to say after that. Share with us your thoughts. We're happy that you're here and having this conversation with us, and, you know, listening to our story. And I hope that it's healing for you in some way, that it's validating in some way, that it's resonating. Even if you don't comment, a like goes, you know, we see the like, you know, we see the view, you know, it matters. Even if you don't want to, or you're not in a place to really respond, we are just glad to know that you're listening and that you're here.
And I know we have said a lot. I feel like we've said nothing, but I also know that we have said a lot, and we have also said a lot of heavy things. Always be respectful, of course, but if you do have questions also, things that, you know, maybe we started, you didn't get a full picture or something. If you just have any questions about anything that we've talked about, you know, feel free to ask. And I don't know, we're here trying to do the best that we can for ourselves, but also for you guys as well. Yeah. So we will be picking it right back up. Yes. In the next episode.
Just starting right now, here, right after
just
this.
Just like this.
Yep.
We're moving. We're chugging along.
Moving and grooving.
Yes, there's more to come. And I also really feel like we have barely like really gone to like the heat stuff. Like I don't even know where to look.
It's gonna get it's gonna get really personal in the next one. But so I would definitely say subscribe to get and click the bell to get the notification. Like, I don't even feel the energy to really tell you what to do, but if you're interested, definitely that would be a good way to make sure that you catch the next one. And then if you do have any questions, you can get those answered as well and hear more about the topic from us. So and now would be a good time if you are so inclined.
This is a lot of emotional work as well. So we appreciate anything.
Yeah, we really do.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you for being here. Yeah. If you are here right now, in this moment, you watched it all the way to here. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
A heart would be really appreciated as well. Maybe in the comments, at least a heart, just to, you know, acknowledge the emotional labor. Because, yeah. Anyway.
We will see you.
We sure will.
You'll see us.
I'll see you when you see me. Boy.
Don't have sex.
Don't have sex. Sex kills.
Yep. Sex kills just like crack. And that was why there was a war on drugs.
Friends don't let friends
have sex. Absolutely. That's why we make pacts.
Yep. Accountability.
Friends don't let friends have sex.
Absolutely. No, they don't. If your friends are letting you have sex, bad company corrupts good character. Yes. You need to get away from them.
They hate you.
Yep.
Yeah, they actually hate you.
Yep, they actually hate you.
They like really do, because they want to see your life go down.
Into ruin.
Yeah. They're actually waiting. They're waiting for it to go down.
For your downfall.
Yeah, they're watching you, honestly, and they're talking about you behind your back.
They're laughing.
Yep.
They're playing you for fool.
Yep.
You need to leave those friends.
Because friends don't let friends have sex.
They don't.
They really don't. And if they care at all about you, they will not let you do it.
They will pull you out of it.
They will see you naked in the act.
And pull you out by the spirit.
They will bring a sword.
Yep. I tried so hard.
We are doing doing the best.
What are we even saying?
I don't know. We are doing the best that we can possibly do.
Should we talk about that?
Yeah, we should.
Boy basba, vamos bain.
Vamos bain. Boy basba,
vamos bain. I said boy, and I was like, boy basba, vamos bain. No one else knows these phrases except for you.
And I just love how they're a whole thing, you know? Like, we just, oh my goodness.